On today's episode of Alabama Unfiltered, we're going to talk about, what are we talking about today?
I can't say it.
You can't say, you won't say it? You can't say it?
I can't say it. Stanford came up with a list of words we can't say. So we're going to talk about it. Kinda.
If we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Anything else?
It's all my favorite words.
It's all the words you usually use.
And then we're going to talk about our New Year's resolutions, aka what Scott said last week, that there really are New Year's lies that we tell ourselves. And we're going to hold each other accountable. So stick around. It should be really entertaining. We'll tell you all the things you can't do and say in 2023.
We're literally debating that it's bad that people get to say what they think.
Can you imagine? I'm reading Psalm 144 and it says, He trains my hands for war.
We are on the brink of total destruction of America as we know it.
Let your rebel flag fly.
Welcome into this week's edition of Alabama Unfiltered. I guess it's the post-Christmas edition. Ladies, is that right?
It's something.
It's something
It's that
like
weird
that?
week in between Christmas, New Year's.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad y'all are here. How was Christmas for y'all?
Oddly calm. Like I had it together, which is weird.
Really?
Because I never have it together.
Christmas was calm.
No, it was weird. Like it felt like something was wrong because
Like you forgot
I was
something?
actually responsible and I had all my stuff done and I was
It's
on top of
probably
things.
Amy Beth's influence.
It probably so,
'Cause it's
which rolls
Not
into
my influence, I'm sure.
what we're going to talk about today. Some New Year's resolutions, aka New Year's lies that we're going to tell ourselves.
Yeah.
And
We'll follow up with that.
how long the lie will last.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
What about y'all?
What else?
Yeah. How about you?
No, our Christmas was good. It was actually so smooth, I guess. Of course, we were going through all the controversy of where my daughter's, what new school is she going to go to. And
do
she
you
did
wanna
decide,
announce
by
it?
the way. So yes, I'm announcing it.
Okay.
She's already announced it on all those little social media things, but she's going to
no,
Nebraska.
she's going to Auburn.
Nebraska.
Go Huskers.
Now, I'm going to tell you the honest truth.
War Eagle anyway.
Auburn was tough. I mean, we really liked the coach. She really likes the coach. And she was distraught about having to tell him,
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Nebraska.
It was totally
tough.
know. I can recognize that feeling
Yeah.
because they have to make the calls.
Yeah.
I mean, in recruiting and in
like
portal
big
recruiting,
kid
you,
stuff.
Yeah.
you
So
can't.
she's like, can I just send them texts? I'm like, no, if you've talked to them in person, you have. Now, she didn't want to send him a text, but it was tough. It was tough for her to tell him, look, I've only got 2 years left. I think you're going to do a great job. And I think he is going to do a great job. Seems like a great guy. He reached out to us. You know, some of the schools want to talk to the parents and that kind of thing. Some of them don't. But he seems like I wish him all the best. I hope it goes
But she
great
just
at
wanted to go
Auburn.
to that pedigree, that blue chip.
Yeah. She just
Yeah.
said, look, so she visited places. She didn't do it when she was recruiting when she was young because she thought she wanted to go to Florida. And that's, when that came available, she went. But she did the visits and she just said, look, Nebraska just felt like
That was it.
It fit.
that was it. And
Did she have a very warm coat?
they actually said, we have parkas for you.
Yes, I figured. I mean, that was the first thing I wondered.
It is amazing how different volleyball is in the Big Ten, which, I don't like the Big Ten because I'm like, that's not real football. But the coach at Nebraska was like, look, you've got to understand that here,
It's everything.
volleyball is much like being a SEC football player. And people just don't get that. I mean, they just don't understand
How
that down
many
here.
seat
Wow.
arena do they have? And I know they sell it out. This is unbelievable.
So at Nebraska, volleyball has its own arena, its own coliseum. They don't use like the basketball coliseum or whatever. They have their own volleyball coliseum. The coach's office is like where one of the sky boxes would be. They sell sky boxes every year.
Stop it.
Yes, it's an 8,000 plus seat arena, and it's been sold out every home game since the year 2000.
Isn't that amazing?
You might as well tell me people are paying thousands of dollars to go watch cricket.
I mean, it's
Which, I mean, no offense to volleyball,
no,
but like that
absolutely.
doesn't compute
it does
in
not
my head.
compute down here. She said you get off at the airport. I think the airport in Omaha is where she flew in to go for her visit. And there's an ad for an airline, and it's one of the volleyball players. There's billboards in
Wow.
town that are the volleyball players, and they went to dinner. One of the players went with her and the coaches. That's just the way they do these visits and stuff. And a grown lady comes to the table and recognizes one of the players and like, I love you so much, and I've been wanting to meet you. And I mean, it's just like grown men do SEC football players. It is a completely different world.
That's weird.
And
So that kind of overshadowed Christmas a little bit just because you were having to make that
we
decision.
had to do all that and worry about that. I mean, she was out of town until last Thursday, I guess. So,
but now that's done. It's
all done. And now we have to move her 13 plus hours away.
High five for that.
Yeah, long way.
So were all your kiddos in?
Will broke his foot. So he was home on the 22nd. Have you seen crutches for giant people? Because I don't know what they were. Anyway, so he comes off the plane. I'm like, this is great. So he has to go back he went back on the 26th in the morning.
So he got 4 days?
He got 4
days. As a basketball player?
That's a lot.
As a basketball player. So they were very excited to come home. Not so fun to go back, but Wesley came in. She worked Christmas morning in Pittsburgh and then was able to get to the airport. We talked about having her drive home, and then you light up the route home, like what are stops, what are cautions. It lit up like a Christmas tree from Morgantown until you got into Virginia. And even if you went around to Kentucky, you were
in the storm.
So she didn't get home till 11-ish on Christmas night. So we were all together for about 8 hours.
Did she go back yesterday?
And so she's home until January, early January.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
good.
good.
There's like a 3-hour window where everybody was awake. I'm like, okay, well, this is what I get. And I'm going to be thankful because they're here. They're happy. They're healthy. You know.
Did you do the mom thing of get in here? We're going to do something fun. Dang it.
No.
We call it the smile dang it pictures, you know.
The forced
Everybody here and everybody look happy. Yes.
Chris was on call. So it was a very, it was calm in that we're happy to all be in the same house. But it was not. It was very hectic. It was really, really hectic. But you know,
that's so weird about Will's foot.
Isn't that weird?
Wilder Evers.
Exact same thing.
Okay, so Wilder and Evers, who plays at Kansas.
Okay,
he's Will's age. They graduated technically. And Wilder showed up at the house yesterday, and like he just had foot surgery. He's out too. What is the deal? And these are like two big programs. I feel like everybody, and some of the other players in North Carolina are hurt too, aren't they? They're kind of struggling.
They are. We're back.
I think they're going to get it together.
They did. We're back in the top. We're 25 now. They did really well over the weekend playing before Christmas, which was great. But Dontrez or DeMarco, I can't remember who had a broken hand, but he comes back today.
Okay. All right.
But Will is the one. Leaky was in a boot. He's out of his boot.
Right.
But of course, Will has to have surgery.
Does he have to have the surgery?
Yeah. I texted and I was like, Will, Wilder's having the same surgery. So they were texting back and forth because they're all.
Right. Yeah, but Wilder was like in a boot for a week. Like he's not practicing, but Will be fine if it's the same thing. But it's just, it stinks because you're a freshman and you're just getting out there.
Surgery thing?
It's not. Molly had that, I think. Chris asked him about that. But we have a great doctor. And we feel super confident about it. But you do hate it because, he'd gotten in and was practicing well. He made it through the first semester. Really, technically, he's at the end of his first year. So he was like, I figured out how to study. We're like, yes, that's the most important thing. You figure out how to, study. Right. Because you're there to go to school.
That's what we're supposed to say, yes.
And then
they're supposed to go to school.
The boys are fantastic. They're great guys. They got up in the morning to take their stuff to the airport. Like, I'm amazed at they're just good men helping each other out, carrying his bags in, going to the airport together. Yes.
That's good.
Like I was amazed. I was like, who helped you? And he told me, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. He was like, no.
That's good stuff.
They're good men. And I'm very happy.
And they look out for each other.
They look out for each other. They take care of each other. And, it being a freshman, as you know, is like being an intern. Like Chris was an intern. The first year of your internship is not fun. Right. And once you figure it out and you graduate and become a resident, then it just kind of moves along.
Starts getting better.
And so it's been a good experience, but it's been hard. So I'm going to go up next week. I may have to call in. Or the week after, I may have to call in.
Misses all the babies.
No, Chris is like, I can't go. You got to go. I'm like,
right. Yeah, that's one of the big challenges. Lori's like, 13 plus hours away.
Yeah, it's a long way.
So it's almost exactly the same as if you drive from our house to Gainesville, Florida, where she was, and back in one trip. So you drive down there and back, and now you're there in Nebraska. So on Alabama Unfiltered, we talk North Carolina basketball, Nebraska volleyball.
I was just
I mean, this is
laughing because
awesome.
I was like, this is where,
Yes.
you know how the one lady said, hey, it's a great episode, but fast forward to
Yes, that's what she's
unless
saying.
you're a sports fan, you're probably fast forwarding.
Well, you know.
But we don't get to catch up. It's been kind of busy.
No.
So
And
I
that's
like
big time
finding out.
news. I mean, like that's
Yeah.
huge. That is
That's big.
essentially
That is
being
big.
signed to play
It's
like
like
big time football.
it's like going to Alabama.
It's like
for
going to
football.
Alabama.
It's like
It is.
playing in
It's like
North
going to North Carolina for basketball.
I mean,
That's what it's like.
It's
Right.
everything.
Right.
It's like
Those are
playing
opportunities.
in Chapel Hill.
Mhm.
Man, I'm a loser. I got
We're
nothing.
close to Auburn.
No, I mean, like, my kids are just making it through school.
Hey, we
That's
understand.
I think we're
We
all
understand
just
that too.
making it.
Yes,
Huge.
I
yes.
think the truth is everybody's
just making it.
It's
No-
just sometimes
no doubt
you
about
see
it.
them just making it, and sometimes you don't.
Right.
That's what I've
right.
concluded.
We don't have a
I
broken
agree.
foot, though. That's good.
Oh, that is
So,
good.
what are we talking about today?
Oh my!
Which is
word.
something you brought up last week.
I'm very disturbed in that there's just a lot of things I have to quit saying. I already knew and had been told for years, Scott, you can't say that. Scott, you can't say that.
You've
I
been a
can't- I
problem
can't
for a
believe
long
you-
time.
I know, but the list is getting bigger. I'm just now getting up to speed on the old
Aborigine?
ones. Yes, you can't say that, but it's not on the list.
That's because
it,
we took it
it was
off.
not ever a terrible word until the Birmingham
was.
News decided to destroy me. But that's okay. It's all right.
That's another day,
Another day,
story.
another
Which is a
show.
great story.
But you're
I don't know if
talking
it's
about
great.
Well,
It is an interesting
It's
story.
an interesting story.
Right. And it kind of shows the press and
I think it's
Political
it's an
mistake.
instructive
Hey, I would
story.
just-
How about that?
right.
you're tapping. Stop.
Can you not
That's
do that? Did he
me.
tell us
no,
not to do it?
no,
So-
It
no.
wasn't
I
you
just
that
didn't
time?
want to get blamed for it. They always say that I make noise because I tap on my microphone. It was Scott.
It was me that time.
Yeah.
So words.
So Stanford, and you brought this up last week. I hadn't even heard about it, but then I looked into it.
Because I'm
and-
on the cutting edge of political correctness.
I mean,
try to.
it's that
I try to be
ScottBeesonRadio.com.
virtuous and diverse and equitable and inclusive and.
No, I'm
woke.
pretty sure
I'm
you
big
were
on
laughing
woke.
about it just
Are
like
you
I
sure
was.
laughing? I was
So-
thinking it's one of the greatest things
Well,
to help society improve. that
we're
I've
going
ever
to
seen.
present to you the Stanford University list of the Elimination of Harmful Language initiative that they just began.
So everybody can be equipped going
Mhm,
into the new
mhm.
year.
Right. Because that's going to be one of my New Year's resolutions that I try to stick by these words that you can and can't say.
So, what is it? How did you find it? Or how did you see it?
I was just looking through news, just looking through things that people were talking about. I might have been looking on Twitter or something because I do that sometimes
Okay.
now. And somebody brought it up that there was this new list of things that you can't say, and it's pretty exhaustive and exhausting. And I was expecting just the normal. You can't say slurs and that kind of stuff. But according to this list, we really can hardly speak at all.
We should just sit here.
we
stare
can't
at each
even
other.
yes, we can't even have a show. I mean, you can't say these things. And what I love about this list is things that, and I mean this seriously, things that I just learned I was supposed to say instead of the last old word,
Right.
have now been banned.
You can't.
Some of them are
keep
on their
up.
third or fourth step of.
It's ridiculous.
It's really, but it's fun.
Well, it
is
made
so
me
fun.
do some research into I looked up the definition of word because I was like, okay, what is language? What is a word? Where does this concept, how do words have meaning? And it's really interesting if you've ever looked up the history of language. There's lots of theories out there. There's the Tata theory. There's
That's what I'm for.
the there's the yo-he-ho theory.
Yo-he-ho.
Yo-he-ho.
Okay.
And it basically goes and there's the anyway.
All I'm going to take out of
Scott
this is there's the
Tata
Tata
theory.
theory and the Ho theory. That's all I got.
There's a theme.
That's all I.
No, but it's basically like did humans start speaking based on like sounds or rhythms or things that you hear in nature and they picked up like basic grunting or things like that? Really, it goes back to scripture where God gave Adam the ability to name and to speak and the word and so and then it goes into like if you look from the biblical perspective, language, we all spoke the same language until the tower.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he confused all the languages, which is why we have different languages. That's the only one that really made sense. The tatas and the ho-hos kind of went
apart
past
from
me.
God, our theories are ridiculous.
Right.
Like those.
Mm-hmm.
But interesting.
Well, that's why the cows aren't
But
the,
it really-
the
I mean,
cows
it's-
aren't the mms and the horses aren't the hems.
Well, no, and that's kind of what it was.
Right.
Like that, yeah, it was like we took sounds out of nature and slowly started to put them together.
Right.
So
That's so interesting.
Yeah. But words do have meaning, and whether you like it or not, like, and then I started looking into like words that, because we could still say "thou dost protesteth much as on the Alabama unfilterish." Wait, I went through like 10 different languages right
You
there.
did. It's fine.
I like it. I
ended
understood
in
everything you
Russian.
said. It was
Anyway,
a Russian Latin
we
King
could
James
still
version.
speak Old English.
Mm-hmm.
It would be weird, but it's not
Well, we wouldn't know the
incorrect.
difference, though.
Wait, what do you mean?
I mean, if we were speaking it, it wouldn't be weird to us. We wouldn't even know.
No,
It would fit perfectly.
I'm saying if like
and they had all the same
Scott,
cuss
if
words,
you
so most of the
decided-
people on social media would still be able to
No,
talk.
I'm saying if you decided to do your radio in Old English tomorrow,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
you
okay.
technically could. There's
Right.
nothing wrong with that. Those
Right.
words still mean what they mean. We just
Right.
don't use them anymore.
Okay.
And so then I was listening to Christmas songs when they talk about the gay happy feelings
Yes.
and friends come to call. And I'm like,
Yes.
well, gay does not mean happy anymore.
No. And I
But
can attest to that
technically-
because my youngest son is like, they said gay.
Well, so
And I'm like, yeah, that means happy. He's like, what?
so
That was a few years ago, not recently.
okay, so the definition, I looked up gay, characterized by sexual or romantic attraction to people of one same sex,
Mhm.
gay men, gay women.
So
Okay.
that's the number one definition. Now.
Well, now it is. Well, and number 2 is happily excited, merry, in a gay mood, keenly alive, exuberant,
Mhm.
a bird's gay spring song, bright, lively. So, like, you wouldn't use, we don't use the word gay in that way anymore, but technically it's still a definition.
Right. And,
And then-
it was the dominant definition.
Right.
The
and
first
people,
one.
right. Then, like fag is another one. I don't know. That
You
just
can
seems
say that.
wrong to say, but
Right.
but it's let's see, strenuous activity, exhaust. I was fagged by the strenuous climb. Then you go to chiefly Britain. It was an English public schoolboy who acts as a servant to an older schoolmate. Or it's the end of like a cigarette, like a fag, like a cigarette. So we don't use that language,
Right.
but it's still technically still the word. Do you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right.
this is so confusing to me because, and language is so intricate and delicate. And I get that words change and things come in and out. But when you look at this list, it's bizarre. Like they are trying to say we can't use the word American anymore.
Right. And that's the one they're apologizing for now. And maybe we'll get to that
Oh.
later. So they've kind of stepped back, but I think they chose that one. So people go, oh, well, they're kind of, but this list is really exhaustive. I talk to Jeeves on my show sometimes. He's a big fan of, well, language changes. And my thing is, it's okay when it's, what's the word? They'll say organic. When people just start using the word, or it was
Right.
in a movie and people start to use it differently, like something being cool, which I guess that's an old word now. But when authorities decide, hey, that word no longer means that, we want it to mean this, and cultures out there with no idea, the population's out there, we don't know, and they're like, you will start using this word. I think that's when it's kind of a problem, when it's not a natural change.
Right.
Does that make sense?
That does.
When the people at Stanford decide, or whoever this group is, when they decide, what was that word I saw just a minute ago? Mentally ill. You're not supposed to say
Yeah.
someone's mentally ill. Now, that's a great example of, I didn't get the memo. I got in trouble one time. I was at a dinner. Golly, I shouldn't mention who was with me, but me and a senior legislator were there, and we didn't pay him as much attention as we should. And we were probably having a good time and laughing. And I made the mistake of saying something about somebody being crazy, and it was at a mental health function. And I thought the lady was going to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's like, we do not use the word crazy. We use mentally ill. And here we go. We're in 2022. And now I can't say mentally ill.
But crazy's on this list too, by the way.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't say crazy.
Yeah, so you're-
there's so many words.
But
on
now I have to say person living with a mental health condition.
So I started to try and think about what the difference was. Like why when I just said fag, I kind of, because like.
Right, because we're taught to.
Or like my daughter helped in the special needs, special education room for an entire year. And she just has such a heart for special needs children.
Right.
And there was this whole thing because some of the kids were using the word retarded.
Right.
Talking about the kids. Well, back then that was the word you used, but now, and so like, it's this whole adjustment. And like you said, I get that. I started thinking about what makes some of it right and some of it wrong. And why do I recoil when I hear that? But the difference is exactly what you said. Like there's so many words out there that are offensive to me. And parents, if you have your kids listening, what did we do? Like 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
Well, here we go.
Down.
Like I just cannot stand the word pissed or sucks or you say moist, I'm out. Okay.
Right.
But it's like,
right.
Like I'm not, or the F word or, a lot of that, like, I just think is tacky and I don't say them.
Right.
But I'm not going to tell you can't say them. I'm just going to look at you like you're an idiot.
Right.
Or like, and probably not hang out with you much if you.
Because you just it makes me feel uncomfortable.
It's
or whatever.
It's just,
Except I'm probably
I don't like
say
it. I'm offensive. But that's the
when I say
difference.
that
When
one,
all
I
of a
don't
sudden,
know.
because like, what if I wanted to outlaw those words? Probably most of the people that made this list love the word pissed and love the word sucks.
And I'm telling you, they use the F-bomb regularly.
Right.
With a GD to go along with it.
Right. So what if we decided?
There's no doubt these college administrators sound like
No.
potty mouths. Is that the word? Is that a real word?
No, that's it.
Yeah.
So like, why do they get to say what we don't use? I mean, let the natural consequences of being like, ew.
What I think happens over time is there's a word and they just decide that word has a negative connotation. Okay. And then they make up the word you're supposed to use instead. So let's see, handicap is on here. You're not supposed to say handicap or handicap parking. Now it's just accessible parking. But people used to use the word crippled, right?
For sure.
And then somebody decided that you needed to change to handicap, right? Because handicap was the better word. Because nobody wanted to say anyone was crippled, so
Yeah.
they switched to handicap. But then when handicap becomes has the same meaning that crippled did, well, now we can't
We
say
gotta change
handicap
it.
because now that's the one that makes people feel bad. So then you start getting all the newer versions of handicapable and physically challenged and all this kind. But when that word is accepted and it now comes with the same message that crippled did, then you have to change the word. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like they want this new, really light sounding word, but then when it gets the full meaning, you have to change it again. And that's where we are.
So why, and it says you can't say paraplegic or quadriplegic either, because it says this term generalizes a population of people while also implying that people with disabilities are not capable. I don't get any assignment of capability out of the word paraplegic. It lets me know that 2 of their limbs are not
Right.
para 2, quad 4. Like to me, it's a very technical term. So I don't know why all of a sudden, I just don't get and the word, it's the Special Olympics. And sometimes now when you say special, people are really offended by that. Are we going to have to change the name of the Special Olympics?
That's a great example.
Yeah.
Is it not? Because that's
Special
one
Olympics.
somebody had made up so you wouldn't say whatever it is. And you can't even hardly talk about it
So
because
what
you don't
were
know which
y'all's
words to
favorite
use.
ones?
Well, you know what? Before that, should we take a break and then talk about our favorite words?
Oh,
Let's do it. Why not?
we got a break for our sponsor. I forgot about that.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
What's up, guys? Brian Dawson, CEO of 1819 News here. I want to take a minute to tell you about my good friends over at Centurion Labs. Cold weather is here, and you know what that means. Colds, the flu, and coronaviruses are running rampant. Your immune system needs protection, and that's why I love what my friends over at Centurion Labs are doing. They're always looking for safe, effective, affordable ways to keep you healthy and at your best. Got a cough, sore throat, or a runny nose? You need to check out their Ninja Cough product. You heard me, Ninja Cough. It contains the strongest non-narcotic cough suppressant on the market with no sugar, alcohol, or dyes. So it's safe for everyone, even your kids. Looking to strengthen your immune health, prevent sickness, or fight off the flu, and of course, coronaviruses? Defender Immunity Boost is for you. It is an all-in-one immunity booster that combines vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, copper, and quercetin in just one pill to save you money and help defend your health. Having trouble sleeping? Defender PM is a nighttime immunity booster that will help you get rest and boost your immune health. Now is the time to defend your health, save money, and support a company that shares your Christian values and loves this country. Centurion has dedicated the last 15 years to research and develop safe, effective, and affordable products made in the USA that you can trust. For a limited time, listeners of this podcast can get 20% off their first bottle order when you visit centurionlabs.com/1819news and use the promo code 1819. That's centurionlabs.com/1819news with the promo code 1819. Check them out, guys.
Welcome back. Here's something I want to throw in that I think would help when we're listening and talking about this conversation is you were looking at words, I was looking at free speech, which is Greek in origin. The word for free speech is parrhesia. I don't speak Greek. I have no idea if that's correct. But it's been thousands of years that people have been able to say what they want to say. Mm-hmm. And so I think moving forward, that is something that we will have to fight tooth and nail to be able to say right back when they say these words, well, you can't say this or you can't say that. Mm-hmm. Well, why not? Because I think that's one of the things when you hear this and you read a list like this, you hear somebody talking about it on the radio, you're like, well, why can't we say that? Because I feel so often that these people will make up this list. But if you notice at the beginning of the list, they use the word ableist. And ableist is what they're using to assign blame to everybody else. And so
who's an ableist?
So
an ableist
we are ableist.
Is somebody that
doesn't have a challenge.
We're discriminating against everybody. It's ableist. And so what they're doing is saying that these words are coming out of ableist people like us.
Oh, okay.
Because anybody else is, in their view, disabled. And so that also implies this idea that they think less of people. Like it's a weird. Did y'all think
I'm
that
trying
was
to
weird?
follow this. Okay, keep going.
So if they're saying ableist,
right,
and they use that like right on the first
it's
page,
the first category.
It is also then if you're saying this group is ableist and you guys are doing this to all these people, right? You're looking down on them. It is coming at it with a really weird view of words and language and people. It's like an us against them mentality. Mm-hmm. It's a divisive Marxist, culturally Marxist mentality.
Right.
And so that was when I was reading through, I thought, this really bothers me that they're saying anything we do is always against them. Mm. And so they're looking at us.
And they're building this hierarchy.
And they're building a hierarchy. That's it. They're building a hierarchy. And so as they're building it, they're saying all of these people are less than.
Right.
And so aren't we
the
benevolent?
The ableist are the second-class citizens.
Yes.
And everyone who has whatever's on this list is a little bit superior.
Yes.
Which is kind of the whole argument against Western civilization.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of what they do with quote what is white and what's not,
yes.
where people think it's race, but it's really not. It's your political views.
Yeah.
And so that's negative. It's kind of what the LGBTQ community has done now. They're the special.
Yes.
They're endowed. They're gifted.
Yes.
They're
Everybody
superior. Everybody else
us.
is just this grimy.
Well, it goes back to that
Rams.
intersectionality of the
which
whole.
I never really understood. What is intersectionality?
So what you would have is you have like certain things. For example, if you are a gay person,
okay,
and you are also
which one?
Black,
happy or
actually like you're
attracted
a gay
to the
female.
same sex.
Okay, so
yes.
if you're
I
a
see,
gay
because
female,
maybe if you're happy, that's bad too.
With this idea also that you're for example, perhaps a Black gay female. Okay. So you're kind of higher up on the hierarchy. The lowest on this intersectionality chart is a white man. Sorry.
A white cisgendered Christian male.
Yeah, you're the
so like you're a
on the low
loser.
on the
So
totem
I'm
pole.
like the bar, just the line on the bottom of the
Yeah.
page.
Yeah.
I'm not even. I don't. There's no even
You're
toner.
not
I don't get toner.
Yeah. And then who else would be on that? So so your rank in society increases as you have more
The more of those
offenses
checkoffs?
against you.
So like if you're a black, transgendered, disabled.
Oh, that you're
Okay.
at the
Can
top.
you say that?
You're at the top.
Handicap. Oh wait, I thought no.
Handicapable. No.
And
Yes.
challenged.
Hold on.
Anyway, the more
Person with a disability.
if you're
Yes.
a black, transgendered person with a disability
With COVID.
and homeless.
And
Yes.
masked
Yes.
up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're really at the top.
You have the
You
crown.
are.
You win.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
But that's all this is. And
So
that's
what intersectionality is.
Yes.
The more things that intersect with
Yes.
the person,
the
Yeah,
more
you are
oppressed.
more
you're more oppressed, but that makes you
Yes.
more of a superhero
Yes.
because you're victim.
Right.
Yeah, so we
Super
have to
victim.
find, this is basically a victim list, and we are being mean to all the victims.
And
on
then you
this
find
list.
out how much of a victim you are,
Yes.
and then you're superior.
And yes. Mm-hmm.
It's also
Where are y'all? Where's the white women? Where the white women?
well, we're more
I'm only
oppressed than
partially on the
you.
list.
You're only.
Oh wait, you're above me.
Yes, she is.
But then I go back down again because I am I don't even know, biracial, black, whatever.
Right.
I don't know. And a conservative, so that's bad. I have
Oh,
a ding
you
against
get
me.
more negative.
Yeah, but you're still
more
higher
negative
than me because
points.
I'm just a white female straight. Oh, you can't say
you
straight.
say straight anymore. That's true.
Oh, what do we say now? What's the word? Is it?
I think it's just
I think you have to say
heterosexual.
heterosexual.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay.
so culturally appropriative. Okay.
okay, what does that
Culturally
mean?
appropriative language misuses terms that hold meaning to a particular culture in a way that often lacks respect
Respect.
or appreciation. Okay. So the very first word on there is brave.
But
and
it's
then
a noun.
it says brave as a noun.
Yeah, so I can't say like.
So like I can't give
Can't
you
be
the
like-
name
Ooh, what
brave.
Yeah,
page
you
do
can't.
want?
You
Oh,
can't call
culture-
somebody
oh, yes,
brave.
ma'am.
No, you can't.
Okay.
Like, come on, brave.
Okay.
Let's go. I don't think you can do
okay,
that.
what about
I
the
think
Disney
it's-
movie? Is that wrong? Don't laugh at my glasses. Is it wrong?
Pocahontas?
The movie Brave.
Yeah, there's a brave.
Oh.
It's the redheaded girl.
None do not use it.
Can't say that.
This term perpetuates the stereotype of the noble, courageous savage, which actually came out of the French Revolution, equating the indigenous male as being less than a man.
That's what it means.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't say, let's go. Or you can't say, okay, brave.
Yeah.
So we should just bury the hatchet.
Just go find your
Stay
tribe.
off the warpath.
You can't say bury the hatchet.
Allison, there's no more powwows.
Yeah, no, she has said that before. We need to have a powwow.
Do you know how? Okay, tribe. You can't use tribe.
I love
Friends,
the word
network,
tribe.
family.
You can't say I'm the low man on the totem pole? What if
No, because that
You
is
can't be
you.
a guru, Scott. You are no longer a guru.
I like being a guru?
No, in the Buddhist and Hindu traditions, the word is a sign of respect. Using it casually negates its original value.
It was very important.
I don't think
before.
these people had enough Christmas cheer when they made this list.
Oh,
But I
no
just
longer. Remember how we did spirit animals?
Yes.
Remember the lady who's
Yeah.
a wolf and you can't say spirit animal anymore.
I love spirit animal. My friend and I were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah, but it demeans the significance
All right.
of the term. you
Everyone,
can't even use it.
I would like to suggest that you look at the gender-based
You
list.
have to say favorite animal. It's not my spirit animal. The wolf is my favorite animal.
This is a question because
I
this
love it.
comes back to what you were saying in the beginning. Is we say words that they say until it reaches the tipping point, like don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. Okay, now you can say it, and then it swings back around because now we introduce preferred pronouns, and we know that teachers are using that in classes, right?
Yes.
But apparently, you cannot use the word preferred anymore. You're just going to
So
say
I just got to where I understood what
pronouns.
preferred pronouns are, and now we're dumping preferred
yes.
for just pronouns. So it's what
Because
are
it
your
suggests
pronouns?
that non-binary gender identity is a choice and a preference.
It is.
No, not if you're a victim.
Oh,
And the people who
that's
made
true.
this list are
Golly.
permanent victims.
I'm waiting on Allison
Enshrined
to give us the next
in
couple,
cultural
'cause I
history.
know
Yeah,
she
no,
won't.
this is the crux of what I'm so upset about. Because no more balls to the wall, no more ballsy, and no more have the balls to. Okay, because it attributes personality traits to anatomy. Y'all.
Excuse me. I wrote the same thing.
I mean,
How would you nicely say that?
I
Go all out.
talk about gumballs all the time.
I love
do
the phrase, and I used it from you.
And
It's
I'm
so
gonna
funny.
I'm gonna keep saying it. And actually, one time I said balls to the wall, and I stopped myself, and I was like, I don't even know what that
I'm not
means.
really sure
Does that
what
mean
I'm
balls
not
are
really-
actually pressed against the wall? But do you want me to tell you what it is?
What is it?
I actually asked my
'Cause I
husband
really
about that
don't.
one time.
Did he
years
know?
ago.
Wait, does he
'Cause
know
I
what
don't
it is?
know what
That's
the
kind of what
phrase
that
means.
means. I mean, that really means like you're getting after
Yeah,
it.
that's
you're
what-
like
no,
You're
but-
slammed
pressed
into the
into the wall.
wall. and you're
Nope.
things.
It's not that it?
No. If you
What
look
is
it
it?
up, it actually is a
risk taker?
airplane. There's something about like in an airplane, something about the throttle
So is
like
it- is it a war-
balls
a
that you're
war thing?
pushing all the way up the throttle,
'Cause they
all
used
the
to
way
have
up on the
knobs on
airplane.
top.
Yes, and so the balls go to the wall. It's not
So
Yes, we can
balls
use
on
it
the
again.
wall.
Yay. Okay, well then, like you know what, we were wrong.
Anyway,
Well, I mean,
I love that. Okay.
but
I would have guessed either one of those. I'm
really
I
stressed.
have always refused to call a congresswoman because they're always congressmen. And now congresswoman is out. So I am back in
Congress
good.
person.
Now it's
Congressperson and legislator.
congressperson.
Okay. But here's what I find odd is that they have made this standard up, but the standard doesn't apply to everybody. So how is it a standard at all? Do you know what I'm saying?
Like, what do you
they're saying lumps a group of people using gender binary language, which doesn't include everyone.
You can't say freshman.
I mean, it's just weird.
A frosh or a first year student. Frosh to me is more derogatory than
Who would want to be called a frosh?
I think
Frosh.
frosh is hilarious.
Where are all the froshes? Okay, so my
Okay.
daughter, female athlete, girl athlete. You know what
Yes.
they call freshmen athletes?
frosh?
Freshmen.
Oh, okay.
losers.
People don't use this. Did y'all
I
see
see-
did y'all see the Latinx one?
Oh yeah, which
You
No.
can't say Hispanic anymore.
no, you can't.
So this was definitely made up by liberal white
you
people.
can't use the word Karen.
See, this one confused
It's
me.
funny. You can't call people
Because
Karen.
all of a sudden it's demanding or entitled as a demand. You should use the word demanding or entitled white woman. Okay, so a Karen, I didn't know a Karen couldn't be black. And it says this term is used to ridicule or demean a certain group of people based on their behaviors. But then they use the word woman. And so it's very contradictory.
That's what I'm saying.
because
It is such a
We don't need-
contradictory list.
because
Didn't
you know
even
why?
acknowledge
Because
women.
the
Get it
people
straight.
the people who worked on this list are Karens.
They are Karens.
That's why Karen is on this list.
This is excellent.
You can't say ladies or gentlemen.
Well, so you can't say Latin X or Latinx.
No, you-
if
No, you
get
you
it
do
wrong?
You
say
can't say.
Latinx.
You got to say Latinx. You can't
Okay.
say
you can't say
Which I've-
Hispanic.
Hispanic.
Okay. Now this one is downright offensive. You can't use child prostitute. You're supposed to say child who has been trafficked.
Mhm.
What?
Well, I kind of agree with that one because
Well, it's not
Like-
a
You're
child
saying prostitute's voluntary?
But what they're saying now, I don't know if they have it on this list, but I have heard on other lists the word prostitute. You don't say that anymore. You say a sex worker.
I think prostitute's on here.
it is on here.
Person who works, but it's
but
hard
you know
for me
what
to keep up with.
Like the poor, like I don't mean
yeah, the
to
children
not
aren't
take that seriously.
volunteering.
100% do
Right,
because we know what's happening at the border. It is heinous,
right.
absolutely heinous.
Yeah, I
Um,
think to me a prostitute insinuates voluntary
Good point.
working. So I
Even
kind
though
of
it
Yeah,
agree.
that's an
probably
excellent point.
doesn't anywhere really, except in our culture where,
Well, I mean,
where people
you've
do
got-
volunteer for. I mean, there are some who volunteer, but isn't the history of prostitution in general not very voluntary?
I guess
You kinda
are
get-
strippers included in prostitutes? No.
No, I don't think
No,
so.
'cause
No,
just
they're
'cause-
exotic
okay.
dancers.
Oh,
Yes.
I mean, whatever.
anything that starts with black sheep, black bald, there we go again, black box, black listed, brown bag, then you get into all the white things. Like you can't say white paper, white team, white box, white list, white space, because it assigns value connotations based on color. White equals good. An act which is subconsciously racialized. Can't say master, master list, master bedroom.
They now call that the primary or main bedroom. Have you noticed on
No,
the
they
HGTV
really
shows?
don't,
Yeah, they
do
really
they?
do. They've
Yeah.
changed the
Yeah, but
language.
HGTV
It
stands
didn't
for,
really.
well, never mind.
Okay.
You can't say that.
Can't
either.
say that either.
You can't.
You can't say
that.
killing two birds with one stone.
Okay.
How is that offensive?
Apparently, doctors can't say hermaphrodite. If you ever have one as a patient, you have to say an intersex person. That's very
All right.
something.
What is the most shocking one of the whole entire list? And then we'll.
I mean, I just got to
I've got
say
mine.
American. You have to say U.S. citizen. I mean, that is the most.
That's pretty strong.
That is you. That's just I'm Xing out this whole
Just
thing
cause.
at that point, and I'm going to say balls to the wall all
That's just
the time.
All right,
And I'm going to say Merry Christmas.
this is the most
all year.
shocking that you can't say African American.
I
We
agree
have
with
spent
that.
30 years learning not to say the word black.
Yeah.
And now we are back to the word that is suggested instead of African American is black.
But they're not, they're Americans.
They are.
They're Americans. So they're not African American. That's like calling me a English American
But
or
there
a
has
Welsh
been,
American.
There has been no politically correct phrase more pushed upon the entire nation
Than African American. No, you're right.
We don't deal
don't
with.
say
We don't
black.
deal the scientific terms we don't deal with and all that kind of stuff. And that was one that you better not say. You better switch to African American. And here we are now. Instead of African American, consider using black.
But
Just on a like that,
but
Yeah.
my son's not brown. He's Latinx. Right?
Right.
He's Guatemalan.
you
Or
say
he's
brown?
Guatemalan.
Can you say brown?
I
don't think that's
you can't say brown bag, so I don't think you can.
that you can use brown at all.
Well, you can't say blacklist, but they are black people.
Correct. What do you think caused that? I think what started causing that was when they started realizing how many Americans were calling someone in another country who happened to be black African Americans. Remember when Chris Cuomo on CNN was talking about some crime that was committed in France, and he was like, "Well, that too, it was committed by 3 African Americans," and everyone was like,
Oh.
Yeah.
"You're
Not
right, right, right."
That's a Cuomoism.
Yeah. So I wonder if those kinds of things had anything to do with it. You can't
I
say
don't know.
hick or hillbilly. That's a good one. So I will
mean-
now be an uneducated or unsophisticated person.
You know what? You will.
From Gardendale.
And it's fine.
So somebody call the people at the newspapers and tell them that they can't say such derogatory things about me anymore.
This is just another attempt at the thought police, at the free speech, at the free thinking to break down Americans, to make us all the same. You don't have women, you don't have a congressman, you don't have a congresswoman, you've got a congressperson. You don't have you can't use, I don't know, we didn't even talk about that. You can't use
He and she is totally out.
He and she are totally out. You have to use they.
I feel gypped.
Okay.
Unless they've made their pronouns clear.
How many of these words can we say in one paragraph that we say
I'm
every
going to make
day?
a t-shirt that says, "This American is going balls to the wall because I'm brave and
And I will not be gypped.
and well you can't what is
But you know what? You're
Gypped
right.
is something I don't even know how far we have to go to do this. It's to say gyp means cheat, which is derived from the word gypsy and relates to the stereotype that Romani people are swindlers. I don't even know who the Romani people are.
I could say Pocahontas is my
the
spirit
Romani,
animal.
those are gypsies. Those are
Okay.
from Romania.
Okay. Do they gyp people?
Well,
Yeah, they
you
have
know,
the-
I mean, if you, yes,
I mean, every
they-
time you were around the gypsies, they were gypping you.
one time
Mhm.
that I was, they did try to attempt to surround my father in another country and rob him. So that happened, but I'm not going to assign the whole culture
Right.
as,
Right.
because we don't want. Here's the deal. So you're right, Allison. This is just another attempt by people who have too much time on their hand and not enough Christmas cheer or New Year's cheer to invent words that we can't use. But the funny thing is, at the beginning, you were asking what my favorite words were, and I hate all of them because in the beginning, what they're saying is we are not attempting to assign levels of harm to the terms on this site. We're not attempting to address all informal uses of language, but what they're doing is becoming the judge and the jury when they've made this list, and they're saying we have to follow it. And I think it's ridiculous.
I'm loving it.
I
That's
mean,
awesome.
it is ridiculous.
All right, here's a game for y'all because y'all like games.
I love games.
You have to give me the definition of this.
Okay.
So you can no longer say homeless person. What should you say?
Oh, you
say
told us
instead?
this last week.
Person without a home.
Yes, person without housing. How is person without housing any different than homeless person?
Or a convict. You're not supposed
Yes,
to say
I forgot convict. Yeah, person who has been incarcerated.
I think it goes back to parenting. You know how they say, don't tell your kid they're a liar because they told a lie. It's you had a lapse in judgment and there's one time you told a lie.
Okay.
But that does not make you a liar, which it actually does.
Right.
Because in that moment you were a liar. But you don't want that to be a self-fulfilling prophecy and to be their whole identity.
Using the exact same words in a different order.
I think that's their
Where it says
argument.
home instead of house. So your homeless person
Right.
would be a person, so that's the same word, without housing, which less means without. So they're really saying don't say homeless person, but say person without a home.
Yes.
Because a homeless person, maybe
Permanent?
they're trying to say encompasses your entire identity.
Okay.
Like you would say, I am a white person. I am a black person. That does encompass your.
So you think there's a
Well,
little
I don't know. Maybe
feeling
we'll
of a
get to the point where
temporary-
you can change that.
Well, that'd be good. I mean, if you can be a man. or I
If you can be
a woman.
transgender, can't you be transracial?
You should be able to be transracial. I think you should.
You should. Yeah. I mean, why not?
Because I
You
need
know?
to get up on the sectionality list. Because I am
Yeah, you need to
way
move up.
behind.
You need to move up.
Yeah.
Because I am feeling like,
You're left out.
mhm.
You know, I don't know how you're going to make it in 2023.
I'm starting from behind. I'm feeling
Yeah,
very
yeah,
oppressed.
you are.
So
very
this just
oppressed.
crossed my mind. Like, so my husband, you do the 23andMe.
Mm-hmm.
You
So
know,
he's
whatever.
now on the official databases and tracking.
Yeah,
They
they
know
have
exactly.
his DNA. They're probably
Okay.
cloning him as we speak.
Right.
But he's like 3% Nigerian.
Which makes us related.
Is that where you're from too?
No, I'm from all over Africa, but part Nigerian.
Okay. So like, can he say he has, like, what's the qualification?
Where's the cutoff?
You have more than Pocahontas.
yeah. It's
You
true.
know, she made that big
He is
giant
more
announcement a couple
African
years
than.
ago.
Are you talking about Elizabeth Warren?
Elizabeth
Or like
Warren.
actual Pocahontas?
So not actual Pocahontas, but which you're not supposed to say. But
can't say
more
Pocahontas?
than Elizabeth
No, we're
Warren.
talking about the actual
She
person.
had 0.8%, and he's got 3%. So I mean, I think
Right.
he can just.
So he can be African American. Yes.
yeah.
You got any college loans he needs paid off or anything like that?
Oh, he paid all of his off.
What?
Which we're really upset about.
Because now you don't
Should have
get the
just
deal.
held on to him.
You need to be 16% apparently.
Like-
Is that what it is?
Yes.
To get special help and aid.
Oh, shoot, we're way behind.
3%.
16 or 18.
That's all you got.
Remember Kramer on Seinfeld? Like, you just write it off. That's what the government does. Hold on to your loans. You just write it off.
That's good. That's
Well,
really good.
Check out the Stanford University list of words you cannot use in 2023.
And some
And-
of them even I've not used.
Ever?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever said the word half breed.
Yeah, like I don't
I really
know.
there's just some words
That's
that I don't
a word
that
from
aren't-
the 50s that you would
I
hear
don't even-
somebody say.
I don't even
half-breed.
know. I've said Indian summer before because that's what my grandmother said, which meant late summer. It's
Yeah,
still
I meant
hot
late
and it's
summer.
supposed
I
to be
didn't
fall.
think it meant somebody that was always late. What do you mean? Like that's what? Indian summer's a beautiful time of year.
Yes, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird. But
I
you
mean,
need to check the
I
list
have
out.
called
It's a great
Some
list.
people Karens a lot.
I call myself a Karen often.
What's the
I
guy
have
name?
moments.
Is it Kyle? Is it Kyle and
I don't
Karen?
know. Let's
I'm gonna
make
go
one
with
up right
Chad.
now.
You like Chad?
Chad.
Chad seems more like
I like
than
Chad.
Kyle does.
Yeah.
Chad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't be such a
Yeah.
Chad.
Don't be a Chad.
But then I guess that's confusing with a dangling Chad. Which
Which is
that guy might have a dangling Chad too. I don't know.
especially happens when it goes to the wall.
Okay. That's good.
All right, last one, because this one's important. You can't say transgendered. It's
what do you
just
say?
transgender.
Why can't you say
don't-
that?
What is the ED
Because it
change?
implies a choice.
This term avoids connections that being transgender is something that is done to a person or that some kind of transition is required.
It's also confusing.
It is
I
hard.
don't even understand that.
You can't say she-male. I've never said she-male, but that's a good word.
I like that. I saw that word too. That might have been my favorite word. Was shemale,
That one's way
No,
up
it just
there.
reminds me of He-Man and
And
She-Ra.
She-Ra. which was a great cartoon, by
Maybe
the way.
we
Were
should
y'all
use-
like big fans of She-Ra? Y'all were.
I
right?
was.
Girl power
What
stuff.
was the guy? What was the bad guy's name?
Oh,
Skeletor.
Yes!
yeah.
Yes. You remember.
Oh, I knew. Golly bum. What's
Wow. Okay. So, Allison said that we should make our New Year's resolutions.
Well,
Or-
last week we talked about it because we called them New Year's lies.
Yes.
We're going to tell ourselves. But I thought it would be, I need some accountability. Don't you think we should?
Yeah, you need accountability.
I do.
Absolutely.
So does that mean I have to
I
go
agree.
first?
Yes.
Yes. Are these real? Are these ones we know we're going to
Well,
lie about?
It doesn't matter.
No, I'm going to try and make them real.
We're improving ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine's very broad though. So like I need to narrow it down.
You're going to do some sort of character thing because I'm going with weight loss on me.
Oh, no,
Mine's shallow, just easy. Y'all's is going to be like, be a better person, better mom. How can I stay dedicated to doing, daily enrichment
Weight
and Bible
loss?
studies? Yes, I have put on weight over Christmas.
See, I didn't know you before. Oh, you mean just over Christmas?
Oh, and I weigh a lot more than I used to weigh. Girl.
I think it's called middle age. It's not fun.
Is that what it
I
is?
was gonna say, maybe you went through menopause.
I've slowed down.
It's
yes.
terrible.
I hear it's bad.
It's bad.
Is it bad, Scott?
It seems to be bad. It's making me gain a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Wait, I bet we
Hormones
can't
are out
even
of whack.
joke about that.
What? We can't.
Saying you're going through menopause.
You can't say that?
I don't know, but
'Cause I'm
I
misgendering
could
you.
be. There was a person on the internet today, a young guy who's. Have y'all not seen that one? The viral
I
video
couldn't bring
of the.
myself to watch it because I was like, "You have got
Oh,
to
wait,
be
when he
kidding
started
me."
his period?
Yes.
Wait, somebody
He's like,
sent it to me. I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it, but I read the article. And
Okay.
it's like, oh, he's dying.
I
Oh.
want every man to know what it feels like, not only to do that, but
That
to
is
have
so
a
hateful.
baby. And you can put those little, sensors on your belly and make it contract. Just one time. I want everybody to feel that.
There is some
but not really.
anti-man. Well, deep down, there might be a
I wouldn't watch
little
that.
seed.
Men are great. But I saw that and I was like, I can't even watch it. That's so dumb.
It's so bad.
It is so
We
dumb.
live in such a make-believe world.
Well, let's just start with
real.
you. How much weight do you want to lose?
I need to lose
I would say 15 pounds.
45 pounds.
Scott.
I
Scott,
weighed
you
almost.
didn't weigh
I weighed
45
almost
pounds. You did-
250 today. I weighed 250.
But
Chris
you're like
Shavers.
7 feet.
I know it makes
Straight
a
up
difference.
doing the same thing.
See, and how much does he weigh? And he's taller than I am.
I don't
probably.
know, but I know he's going back doing keto, although he's intrigued by Brian's caveman situation. So
I just
Isn't
want
it
to
the
check
same
Brian's
thing, almost?
cholesterol.
Caveman diet and keto is very similar, isn't it?
it's very similar.
Okay.
Keto
don't
just
eat
slowly
junk.
introduce. Yeah, don't eat
Right.
junk, but low carb because carbs are sugar. and
So I need
sugars.
to give y'all updates every week. Where
Give
I
us
am. See,
updates.
that would be that's a lot of
45
peer
pounds.
Say
pressure.
drink more water and walk more. That's all.
I eat a lot.
Do you eat a lot? What do you
Mhm.
eat?
Anything I want.
Oh,
Anything.
you're lucky.
Sounds nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's finally caught up to me. You know how old people are always like,
Yeah.
one day, son, you're not going to be able to eat like that. I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, right. Well, one day happened. And so here I am.
Okay. We're
So
gonna
every
check back
week I need
in.
to give tell y'all in the whole
That's a
world
lot of pressure.
where I am.
You know what else is very upsetting about
What?
you dudes?
What?
Is y'all can decide that you're going to lose weight, and next week you'll be down like 10
It's
pounds.
not the
Yeah.
same
Isn't that the truth?
anymore.
And we're gonna skip
Really
next
irritating.
week. And
So I'll be
you're-
almost there.
you'll be
in
almost
2
Yeah,
weeks.
I
there.
mean,
No, it's really not that way once you get older.
because of menopause.
Because my wife's like, see, now you know how it is.
It's
And
true.
I can tell with your little kernel of man hatred that
I love
that-
your wife.
y'all don't appreciate what us men go through.
We do not. Because every time after I had a child and I was losing weight, and Chris was like, well, I'm going to do it too.
Jerk.
2 weeks, gone.
Yep.
Jerk.
Perfect shape.
Good.
Perfect. Anyway. All right, Allison.
Well, this won't come as a surprise. Well, maybe it will, but I don't think so. But like, I used to be the most disciplined person. Like, I had willpower. I stayed on track. I did all the things. I got it together almost to where it was an issue, like a control issue. Well, then I swung way the other way. And now I'm like, do I really have to be there at 12:45 to film? I don't know. Do I? I'm like, and I think kind of kids do that to you because your day is not your own. Your schedule is not your own. Like,
And no matter what you want to do, they're going to break it anyway.
they're going to mess it up. And it's like somebody's sick. And like when they were young, I did pretty well until they got to be like 7, 8, 9, which I don't know what happened. Because you would think the diapers and that kind of stuff, the spit up would break you. But something happened, y'all.
Elementary
And
school
I
years.
just don't have it anymore. Like I don't know. I mean, I've got to start to
But you may
pull
start
myself
you may
together.
start stressing out though. That might have been your way of coping with, hey, look, it's really not that big a deal if I'm not there at the
Well, it
perfectly
really
right
turned
times.
into like a spiritual thing because I think I was trying to kind of play God through my control and control my world and control my life. And this goes way back. I feel like I need a couch to lay down on. But like growing up with my parents and anyway, my life was kind of out of control. So like I could control my own little world. But now my kids are like, Mom, Mom, it's 7:45. I got to be at school. Can you get up? I can't drive. I'm like, I don't know. So I don't know. I don't have specifics yet, but like I got to pull myself together.
Okay.
Everybody's panicking in my house because my daughter
told
Jennings.
I'm pulling myself together.
Well, no, but Jennings, who's just turned 18, she'll be at Auburn next year, and like my younger two literally said out loud, "This house is going to fall apart when she's gone next year." So like,
you're like, what?
Time to pull it together. Yeah.
I knew it was going to be something good.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'll have specifics for you.
That's good.
I'm not sure what it looks like.
I was expecting more. But that's good. No, I like that. That's
Scott
you may
approves.
be really doing it. Yeah, that's.
No.
I'm probably lying because there's very little chance I'm actually going to lose weight because I like some
you'll lose some
lemon pie and then put it all back on.
No,
which
you'll
is
lose
what I
about
did.
25, and then
I
next
lost
year you'll be like,
15
I
and
need
put
to
it
go
all
happen.
back.
Yeah, it's good. You're gonna be fine.
Yeah, right.
All right, Abs, you're up.
Very simple. Read more
Oh,
See,
that's a good one.
She
Talk
did,
less.
She did what I thought you were doing. Read
and
more. And love more.
Use one calendar.
You have multiple calendars?
Why?
I don't even have a calendar.
Well,
We
we
need
went back
calendars.
paper
Wow.
calendar.
Discipline.
I don't.
And
You
I
can
keep
just
a
be
notebook
disciplined
with
for
me all the time because I have ideas, and so I have to write everything down. But I just need to one calendar. I can't do it digitally because sometimes my reminders work, sometimes they don't. But yeah, it's very, But I think part of the deal for your life is that when we did have two people in college, it did force, because I think every woman, I don't know about guys, but I think every woman, we do get to that point where you're, in your 40s and you suddenly, for me, this matters, this does not matter. And so there's a lot of winnowing out of your life and dropping things away that don't matter. And so then when they do go to college, to be able to get up to visit Wesley or to go visit Emmy when she was in school or wherever she was, really made me get on a schedule. And I think it helped. I really do. Because you're like, well, I've got to get all these things done before we go down, Auburn for the weekend or wherever. She's going to Auburn, right? And I think that helped. But I also think that wisdom in swinging from one side to the other is a good thing because you'll end up back in the middle. At least I feel like, I don't know what my family would say about mine. They would just say, Mom, you're crazy. But you cry a lot, and I do. But I feel like college just kind of makes you, okay, this is what we're going to do, and we're not doing any of the rest of this stuff. So it's kind of a freeing situation for us. But
I figure
you're so responsible.
Y'all will tell me where I need to be anyway.
I mean,
that's what guys that see. We have it easy because y'all are going to tell us where we have to go and when we have to be there. So y'all keep up with the list, and we're like, okay. Tell me when I got to get ready.
But I think
what time are we leaving?
Yeah, I think so. Because we're planning the trips and we're booking the reservations and we're doing all the things, and so it's a whole other side of life that comes on that you didn't think was coming. Right. Because now I'm like a travel agent, to get everybody where they got to go. And so there's a lot of things I can't do. Yeah. And so you're marking stuff off your calendar. But girl,
you're going to make
so
it.
together.
I mean, I usually pull it off in the end.
Right. Are you a
but
spur
it's
of the
not really
moment kind of
pretty.
person? So if we said, okay, we're going on a road trip and we're leaving in 30 minutes, let's go.
No, I used to not be, but the new Allison that has zero disciplines, like,
You're like, I don't even need extra clothes. Let's go.
See, I think that's awesome.
Just wear the same thing all week.
I think that's
Could you do that?
wonderful character trait.
I could. I hate thinking about what to wear.
You could just
I have done it.
throw something in the suitcase and go.
Yes, because I go so much now that I know exactly what I would wear, and I'd be out the door in 30 minutes. I've even got my bags
It's not
back.
really spur of the moment.
No.
She's got a mental list.
No, I have a plan. Please don't.
There's a section of her
I am a
closet that just says,
firstborn.
this goes.
I have a plan. I already know. I have a plan in my head going at all times.
Right.
See, I'd be like, we'll find a Walmart. I'll buy some clothes
if
there.
I didn't bring
I don't really
something,
care.
I'll go get
like
it.
that. He's like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. And so I'm becoming more like him. I like that so much about him that he's like, we'll figure it out.
Right. I've got my wallet.
It's
Let's
fine.
go.
And so
we can do it.
I'm more that way. But
so over time, has the amount of luggage you take to go somewhere shrunk?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, my kids used to make fun of me. They're like, Mom, we're going to the same place. Why is your suitcase plus a small one?
Extra.
I just don't even care anymore. And maybe that's a problem.
I just wear the same
don't know.
clothes.
Like I catch a glimpse
I
of
may smell
myself
bad. I don't care.
in the mirror some days and I'm like, whoa.
Girl.
Yeah.
I need
Yeah.
some
You
more
can say girl.
discipline.
You're driving in
Person.
the car, dropping them off at school, and you're like, wow. I thought I was going to go to
Yeah,
Walmart. I am
no.
going home before
Yep.
that meeting.
Not
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
That is so good.
Well, okay. So,
So
we
every
won't-
week, are we going to report back? I need to report back. I need that.
I'll
accountability.
report
Well,
back.
I'll report back.
That'll just be a segment.
I'm just going
Scott's fat segment.
Oh my gosh. Losing weight with Scott.
Shoot. Yeah, you can tell us what
Skinnying
you're
up
doing.
with Scott.
And we'll tell you if it's working or not.
Yeah.
Nope. That's what accountability
Yeah,
is.
you need a haircut and you need to lose weight. And you,
If I keep showing up
Y'all
late,
are
they'll
perfect
tell
just
me.
the way you are.
Aw. She's so nice. She's nicer than you and I are.
She is.
So much nicer.
not.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sweet.
God.
All right.
But
That's
this will
awesome.
be fun. Will be fun to see like what actually happens. this
And
year.
we're dedicated to using non-harmful language.
I'm not. I'm going to
We don't
say
wanna-
all these words in one episode.
High five. Yes. All of them.
Maybe not
Every
all of them.
single one of
And
them.
if
I
you
don't know. There's
don't-
a few that I agree with, but
I will feel gypped.
Yeah, that's a good point. I want to say as many as possible though.
You can't say committed suicide. You have to say died by suicide.
I don't know
I
what the
thought
difference
suicide was
That
a
was another one of
verb.
my words.
That's the one of them that's just, that
But
makes no
beside-
sense.
She-Man was, what do you mean by that? That's ridiculous. It's a terrible tragedy. Let's separate the horrible tragedy. I love how I'm picking the worst words.
Right.
But what? Come on, guys. Like, that's already
And
a
you
terrible
can't say
situation.
that-
Leave it alone.
Amy Beth is OCD. She is detail oriented. It does sound better.
That's what I need to be.
And you're trying to be OCD.
I know. I need a little more of that.
Oh, this has been a great show. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate it. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget you can find us at all the places you find your most favorite podcast, bestest podcast. And give us a thumbs up or a 5-star and just tell other people about the program. Don't forget we are powered by 1819 News. Go check out their website. That's where you get all your Alabama news. A lot of cutting edge stories on there, by the way. And sign up for their newsletter and the Daily Detail, which will pop right in your email address every day and tell you what's happening in Alabama. Thank you, ladies. Thank y'all, and see y'all.